What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Lost Records Bloom and Rage Tape 2, potentially one last time here before we get our hands on it, and we can see, does Don't Nod bring it all home? And that's really what I want to talk about in this video. Where I'm at, my excitement levels, what I'm hoping to see from Tape 2. That's really what I'm going to try to do in this video. So let me just, start off by saying I am actually very excited, more excited than I thought I would be. And, I did the review. You guys can watch that. And, we had a couple conversations about, how the game was performing and all that stuff. It's a slow burn. This is a slow burn type game. I think for some people that worked better than other people. For me, I saw what they were trying to do. I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I said in the review, but I see what they're trying to do. I can understand like the base building type thing that that's happening, but I do feel like they took too long to get there. And so I think, and I said this, at the end of Tape 1, there's a lot riding on Tape 2, and I feel like that can be right no matter. I'll do a little coping session. That can be right no matter what you feel about Tape 1, right? It could be great. It still has to deliver. Tape 2, you got to land that plane, and that's where we're at. Whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, this is either a chance, this is a continuation. It's I guess one of those two of finishing off this game. And this is separate from, okay, well, the game does need to do really good in order for Don't Nod, I think, to feel good about the entire thing. I don't think that part is as much of a slam dunk. But I will say, giving it time, like having a bit of space since Tape 1, it's made me be able to take a step back and say, okay, no matter what my conflicted thoughts are, on Tape 1, I am excited. I think that, again, the second half of the story, and it relies on the first half, and I think they did the first half in that way pretty good. That's even something I praised in the review, where, again, no matter what you think of it, Tape 2 is going to have to do those payoffs. There's going to be a lot of that, right? You're going to have to finish off the arcs with these characters. You're going to have to deliver that mystery element that for 80% of the Tape 1 was not even there, and then they started to kind of ride into it, right? In the not even the second half, I would argue, more like the very end. But they're going to have to deliver, on that stuff. And that's honestly, that's where I feel almost the most secure with Don't Nod, that I feel like they're going to be able to do it. Because you can, at least for me, I can already kind of sense, and maybe it's a little bit of a comparison to Life is Strange here. You look at like the idea of Swan leaving, right? And even just like a surface level, because there's obviously a lot of stuff going on. There's the stuff with the supernatural type elements, but then there's also like the girl bond, right? And even just that surface level type thing. You look at a character that, has struggled to fit in and then has found this group, and she's leaving at the end of the summer, right? And then that's coming. And I feel like that's going to hit. Like that's one that I want to say like I'm worried about, but I guess I'm worried like emotionally, because I don't know how I'm going to feel like to be ready for, right? Because, again, we have this a little bit with Life is Strange done in a different way with Max leaving, and it, it's kind of told all over the place because of the farewell episode and, Before the Storm and all sorts of different stuff, right? And I think it did it really well, but now you have this, and you kind of have it more of like a chronological thing where what's going to happen. Then you also have the ending. You also have them coming back together, because what's really going to happen in Tape 2 with like the flashback stuff is the dissolving, of their friendship. This pact that was made to never talk about this stuff. Clearly, stuff is going to hit the fan. Okay, some stuff is really going to go bad, and they're going to break off. Now, Swan was always going to break off, but they're going to break off for good until obviously all of this stuff happens in the current time, present day. So that's something I'm really excited / worried, like emotionally, to see. But that's something I trust. That's something that I think they're going to nail really, really well. Whether it's because they have experience doing it, which is probably like the biggest thing. They've kind of done it before, so I know it's going to hit hard. And then, the supernatural part to it too. Like there's a lot that can happen there with like how far you want to take it and how much it can mess with the girls. And, you still don't really know the connection with the box and really why they're even together in the present, right? So there's a lot of unanswered questions. And again, this is where I felt even good with Tape 1 being, you have so much to answer. And I guess it does put a lot of pressure on Tape 2 to deliver it, whereas Tape 1 was just the buildup, right? Tape 1 had none of the delivery. That's all reserved for this one. So granted, there's a lot to do. It's almost guaranteed to hit hard, or to hit. Let's just say to hit. It doesn't necessarily have to hit in a good way. So I guess that is where the concern still does lie in this game in general, is they're going to have to answer everything, right? They're going to have to deliver all the payoffs that they built, and there's like 3 to 5 of them, okay? They don't have to do it well. So that's something that I'm going to be looking for. It's like, okay, well, was that worth it? Was it worth splitting the episodes up? And I know that was a plan from the beginning. I actually do like episodic games. I want them to kind of come back, and the industry is moving away from them. But okay, well, some games don't actually need it to be episodic. So is this an example of a game? Did they have to spend so long? Is that something with pacing, right? Did they have to spend so long on kind of building it up, and then spend so long on that, and then have very little time to actually do the payoff? That's something we're going to have to kind of analyze and figure out at the end of the day, at the end of the the game, is did they kind of break up the pacing well enough? So these are all things I'm looking for, but I'm excited. I really, really am. I'm ready to see can, don't, nod. Even if you loved it to death, it's half of the story. It's half of this return of don't, nod, which I keep saying, by the way. I think they've been back for a bit. Personally, for me, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, phenomenal, 10 out of 10 type game. That's a game that I think was like, okay, this is their best thing since Life is Strange. I like it better than Lost Records. So that to me was, oh yeah, Don't Nod still knows what they're doing. This was like, okay, well, this is just after, after Banishers. But I think to a lot of people, this was, okay, can you, still have that Life is Strange type energy? For Life is Strange, by the way, at least at the time I remember, or I feel, that episode 5 did not hit the way that it hits now. I've always liked episode 5 of Life is Strange. I love it to death now. I swear to you, at least in my recollection and my experience online 10 years ago, episode 5 was not viewed all that positively. I feel like it was very, very split when it released. So they didn't nail that ending, at least at the time. Again, I think it's aged really, really well and gotten better. But that's something you got to think about, right? This is half of the story. Second half is coming. Can they nail that second half? And I hope that they do. So I'll be covering it same as I did with tape 1. We'll do a review. We'll maybe have some analysis, once we be able to finish like the entire thing, and then we'll see how it does for Don't Nod. I feel like that's, you got to play the game, you got to enjoy or not enjoy the game, but also I think the performance of this game, Don't Nod's future depends a lot on that, right? So I feel like that's a pretty important thing to discuss as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.